Check, check. Welcome back to Evil Scuba Diver. Don't Be Dumb by A$AP Rocky just came out this weekend. I've listened to it multiple times as of recording this because it is a Saturday and the album dropped on the midnight of the Friday. So I've had plenty of time to digest this thing, come up with an opinion that I think will be beneficial for the good of humanity. So don't fear, no fretting allowed, all right? Your opinion has been hand-delivered to you next to this Peter Griffin illustration that somebody else drew here in this classroom that I think looks aesthetically pleasing for these yap sessions. Anyways, let's not beat around the bush. What are my thoughts on A$AP Rocky's Don't Be Dumb? Well, it's great. It's a really good album, but it has one huge glaring issue that I think we need to talk about, and that's the fact that this album should have been released in 2018. This album should have come out in 2020. This album should have come out in 2021. This album harkens back to the classic event hip-hop albums that we would have gotten in 2021. Something like Certified Lover Boy or Donda. You can talk about how those albums are good or bad, or whether you like them or not, or whatever. Point being, they were an event. They were more of like a cinematic experience. I think Travis Scott's Astro World has a lot of similarities with A$AP Rocky's Don't Be Dumb as well. The only issue is that Don't Be Dumb comes out in the first month of 2026. It's not exactly the same era of hip-hop anymore. Yes, this thing is a holistic album experience with transitions and beautiful production. Yes, every single song has a unique counterpoint going on to it that makes it different from the last song you heard. Yes, everything is clicking, the beats are good, the momentum is awesome, the songs track to track are giving you like a thrill ride experience, like you're riding on a roller coaster. Like the flow of this album is great. Helicopter into like a big moment like Stole Your Flow, into Stay Here for Life, which is a very meditative or sort of a woozy, almost like smoky stargazing pseudo-funk cut. That's all great momentum. We're getting ups and downs, we're getting zigs and zags. Like objectively, this album is a great experience. Like I've listened to it multiple times all the way through, in the car, in headphones, at the gym, walking to different classes, whatever context you want, this album is here for you. Like the songs are objectively really good, but they're not immediate and they're not 2026ified enough. This is A$AP Rocky's sort of spiritual Astro World. I think this thing definitely has all the bells and whistles to be titled like his most like insane theme parkified album. But in 2026, do people want a theme park experience? Do they want that, or do they want a syringe of dopamine into the vein? Do people want to spend a day at a theme park walking around, visiting all the attractions, getting their feet a little bit sore because it's an hour-long runtime and the transitions, maybe it's 40 seconds at the end of a song and it's a good 40 seconds, it's a good musical moment, but at the same time it's not immediate. Like, do people want that, or do they just want to be a junkie? Do they want a drug given to them via their artist of choice, like Playboi Carti, like SD Kid, like Joji to a certain extent with the way he's doing his 2-minute 30-second singles, with Kendrick Lamar on GNX 100%. I mean, all those songs on GNX were under 3 minutes. They're very immediate, they're very striking and polarizing as well. It's hard to ignore the shift in demographic. It's hard to ignore the fact that maybe people don't want to be at a theme park. Maybe it worked when we were younger. We were all collectively almost a decade younger when Astro World came out, and that felt like an event. It felt awesome. But what if the theme park method isn't the method anymore? What if it really is about just making your listeners feel like they're high on a different substance that alters their brain chemistry? They want something that low-key is bad. They want something bad for them. They want saturated fat. They want that extra Adderall pill down the gullet while they hit the Delta 8 cart, the Delta 7, the shit you ain't even heard of that comes from the country that you didn't even know even existed. Don't Be Dumb is an awesome-ass theme park experience album. If you go into this expecting like an Astro World type of experience, you're going to get it. But the theme park's a lot of work. You gotta walk around, right? You gotta actually, get the fast pass to get on the rides and stuff like that. Your feet get sore. You gotta wait in the line. There's like the Hispanic couple in front of you who is not gonna fit in the seat, but it's okay because you respect them as people and you're just willing to give them the time of day. Like, okay, let the guys figure this out, how they're gonna get them in the seat here. Okay, they're getting the double seat. All right, I'll be patient here. I'll be jovial. You know what I mean? I'll just stand up and be a monolith of appreciation. Like, I don't want to judge. Like, I am judging silently in my head, but I don't want to judge, so I'm not going to judge. I'm actually going to respect these people. You know what? They have their lives. They have their decisions they made. All their decisions led into this, right? That's kind of a crazy tangent to go on. The theme park sounds nice in theory, but when you get there is still some work to be put in to actually engage in the fun. And you have to be having a good spirit to actually have fun on the roller coasters. Some people don't even want to get on the roller coasters, bro. Stay Here for Life, beautiful song off of Don't Be Dumb. It's 3 minutes and 47 seconds. The last 47 seconds of the song being a sort of funk interlude interlude instrumental experience, which I find just enthralling and beautiful and really makes you kind of feel like you're walking around with a swagger. Like, this album's personality is fleshed out completely, and it's fleshed out completely by the interludes and these little small moments at the end of the songs. But I wonder, does the audience want these small moments at the end of the song if they could have just gotten a 2-minute, 30-second version of Stay Here for Life instead of the 4-minute extendo cut? Because me, I'm down for it. I'm here for it. But I want this album to succeed commercially as well, and the way people are talking about it on the internet when it comes to the runtime and when it comes to how stimulating it is, it doesn't seem like it's going to succeed in the same way that I think it should. Like, I think this is Astro World level for A$AP Rocky. I really do. There's so many good ideas on here. Songs like Air Force, Black DeMarco, No Trespassing, Stop Snitching, even STFU to some extent, which was getting some hate online. These songs are aggressive, experimental monoliths of momentum. These beats, I haven't heard these anywhere. I haven't heard a beat that sounds like this. It sounds so colorful. It sounds so interesting. To an extent, there's even more production value going into this than the main thing I'm trying to compare it to, which is Astro World. I think this thing has like a more cohesive, aggressive production value. I will say it is very compressed on some songs. Like Punk Rocky, I don't think works for me because the guitars and the bass and the drums, I just feel like they're put into the song in a way that I feel like isn't the most congruent for all the different parts to come together. Because what he's trying to do is paint an aggressive, kaleidoscopic world at the same time. And when you want to make every single sound as beautiful as possible, hypnotic as possible, but also in your face to the point where it's visceral to you when you hear it still, you kind of got to get some trade-off. You kind of got to like squint your eyes to an extent to really feel the whole picture. You can see the cracks in the pavement, so to speak, when you have it low volume, because it's like when certain moments come on, they're supposed to be visceral, they're supposed to be hard. They aren't because it's low volume, and then you just hear like how they're trying to make it visceral. So that is something that I could see being like a con of this album, is like, oh, it doesn't sound good. Like, I can see how you could say that, but in my opinion, I believe you have to suspend disbelief when you're being treated with someone who's trying to do something ambitious singularly. That's my personal opinion. I feel like if we as the consumer can suspend disbelief a little bit, go into every album expecting a 10 out of 10 and not a 0 out of 10, I feel like that would allow us to enjoy a lot more art if we went into it thinking this is going to be good, this is going to be awesome. It might be weird, it might not be what I expected, but I'm still going to go into it thinking every decision is intentional and awesome. Because then when we come out the other side, we have a clearer picture of what we just listened to. We had a more enjoyable time listening to it. There wasn't so much criticism in the moment. Now there's criticism after, right? And it's really just treating an album like an escapist area like it's supposed to be. It's an escapist form of art. You're supposed to listen to an album all the way through. Might not have to understand it, right? Like you're looking at a painting or watching a movie. Like not every painting you look at is your favorite painting. Not every movie you watch is your favorite movie. But you buy the ticket, you sit in the theater, you get your popcorn, you get your snack, you get whatever activity you're doing for the album. You're working on homework, you're going to the gym, whatever. And you subject yourself to the art. And then you come out of it and you make your analysis. I feel like criticizing it in the middle of listening to it is the worst thing you could possibly do. It's what I've learned myself because I've fallen into that trap making these videos for like over a year now, these monthly listening sessions. There are times I went into albums negatively and I had nothing to say about it good. And I just came out of it like, why did I even listen to that if I wasn't trying to subject myself to the artistic vision? Like everything at the end of the day is an artistic vision, not a product. And I think a lot of rap albums these days have become products. They have significantly gamed themselves as products. Like I Am Music by Playboi Carti. That's a product. That's not an experience. You're not here for the full experience, but you are here to churn through 30 of the same vibe and tell me which vibe hits you the hardest in this little niche pocket I'm putting you in, right? Let me re-articulate because I think this is a good point I'm making. I don't want to seem schizophrenic and stupid. Don't Be Dumb is your average nice dinner at a nice restaurant with 3 courses. You get the appetizer, it's a little bit weird and funky and it has some weird zest going on. They put the lemon meringue cream on top of the bread, or so, I don't know what they're doing over there. The pink Himalayan salt on top of the caviar, the calamari. Like you're probably not into that food, but you'll indulge in it because you know it's made well, right? It's the experience of it. That's Don't Be Dumb. Playboi Carti, by comparison, is a pharmacist who sells you a bottle of pills, a bottle of 30 pills, and every single pill is intended to make you feel like you're on Adderall. Every song on that album is a different pill. They're all trying to do the same thing. When you take the pill, it's all gonna do the same thing to you. You're gonna feel hyped up, you're gonna feel jittery, right? You're gonna feel like you can take over the world, you're gonna feel this and that, etc. But there's no differentiation. The next pill you take, the next song you play, it's going to give you the same thing as the pill before, as the song before, just different, like a different way of trying to give you the same feeling. feeling. Whereas for Don't Be Dumb, every song is a very creative excursion into trying to give you a new energy. So it's like you're getting completely different methods of making music here, and people seem to be gravitating towards the pill format of music nowadays. I think GNX to an extent kind of is this as well. I mean, compare GNX to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers just a few years before. Double conceptual album about therapy, about growing up, about the trauma you had growing up as a child and not really knowing your self-worth, and then coming to actualization and realizing that you can't save the world, but you can save yourself. You don't have all the answers, but you might have one or two of them for yourself right now, and move forward and step forward, and don't try to be the leader of the free world. Don't try to be Jesus, but just try to be a father. Just try to be Kendrick Lamar. And it's a storybook. You have We Cry Together. You have the Big Stepper interludes where the kids are tap dancing. I don't know what that means, but it gets me going. It's like, what the hell? It's creative. That's in the title. You have Eckhart Tolle sort of reading off different passages of like almost like poetic little spiels about like, Kendrick, you need to feel better about yourself. It's a beautiful like constructed piece of art. And GNX, still a good album, but what you're tuning into that for is essentially what they talking about. They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They talking about nothing. Not like us. Not like us. Mustard. You know what I mean? It's a completely different thing you're getting. And that's the crossroads I think Don't Be Dumb is sort of showing me here in the zeitgeist, is like, do people want the pill or do they want the full course meal? Do people want to sit down and subject themselves to watching like Paris, Texas or Eddington or something? Or do they want to sit down and watch the Minecraft movie? Even worse, do they just want to scroll through TikTok and just see clips of Suits instead of watching the entire series, right? I mean, it's that sort of dilemma we're dealing with in the zeitgeist, in the culture right now. And Don't Be Dumb is a really good way to sort of expose this, because it is the perfect album. It's a great album. This album is so experimental and so creative, so colorful and flavorful in texture with its instrumentation. Like, the hard moments aren't just hard because they have the trap 808 and trap snare. They're hard because they're quirky as hell in a very niche way that makes everything feel like you've never heard it before. I don't feel like I've heard half of these songs before. I feel like every single song I played was a new experience in at least 2 or 3 different ways. From the production style to the way the echoes are being used, to the way the sound effects are coming in and out. Like Helicopter has those sounds of helicopters just floating around your headphones. Doesn't need to be there. Adds a lot of mess to the whole sonics of the whole thing. But I appreciate it so much because that is the song. I want that. I want a helicopter to be fucking around in my head for a little bit as I'm listening to helicopters, because that creates the world. We can't let this type of stuff die. We can't let like creative, experimental, interesting ideas die simply because they're too long or they're too complex, they're too convoluted. I want complex. I want convoluted. I want something that insists upon itself, because that's what art is. Art is inherently masturbatory. You know what I mean? Like, let's just say it how it is. Any artist who is making art is inherently whacking themselves off for you in front of you and basically telling you to enjoy it. We're getting prescription pill bottles of albums rather than theme parks, and we need somebody who's down to give us a theme park, and we need people who are down to go to the theme park. Interludes, transitions, songs that are 8 minutes long, 5 minutes long for no reason other than the fact that the energy supports the fact they are that much like minutes. We don't really get album experiences like this a lot, so we kind of have to treat them with dignity, right? That's kind of how I'm approaching it. Even if some songs are compressed and some songs are a bit too long, or they don't do as much for you as the next song on the track list or whatever, I just feel like giving this album its attention, its due time, like appreciating the fact that I actually tried and succeeded like 90% of the time. I think as a consumer, we need to support that. Otherwise, we're going to get slop. That's my yap. So have a good one. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Go check out the album. Listen to it for yourself. It's pretty cool. It's pretty smart. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video, whatever I do. I guess we'll see. That's sort of the surprise, right? Keep it evil. Keep it beautiful. Keep it you. Stop recording button hit now.